Hey Run Junkies, and hey again Laura. I apologize for a little bit of scratchy voice. I'm still getting over my cold. I'm gonna walk you through some of the costume plans that I have for the Rundisney Avengers superhero weekend.
It's Vlogtober with joyful miles and running with grace. It's Vlogtober.
So welcome to my quilting room. Now, yes, this is a quilting room and it's not really for dressmaking. I don't do a lot of that kind of garment building. So a lot of this is all of my fabric stash, and I know a couple of you are excited about that. I do have a lot more fabric down here. And then this is projects in various stages of completion here. But this is my sewing table. I have my machine over on one side, and I have my cutting table over on the other side. And I just have a lot of space in here. This is kind of a nice place to come when I just need to get away and go. This is my playroom. Let me go through a couple of things that I'm thinking of in terms of costume creation right now. So here's my calendar, okay? Right now, there's the 9th. That's the 9th of November. That's when we leave for Rundisney Superheroes. Today's the 19th, there are 21 days left. Okay, it may seem like that, 3 weeks, that's a long time. It's really not, because I have no idea what I'm doing. So the first thing I wanna show you are my 5K plans. Now, for the 5K, I'm running this with my son and my husband. So my son, hands down, for the Spider-Man 5K, he was really excited about that, so he's going to be Spider-Man. That was easy. We actually found this outfit at the Disney store several months ago, so we purchased it knowing that we were going to use it for Spider-Man 5K for my son. Now, Dave and I went a little bit in a different direction. I absolutely love Doctor Strange. He's my favorite character in the MCU right now. If you look at the theatrical version of the Cloak of Levitation, it is absolutely gorgeous. Now, I can't recreate that for a running costume for multiple reasons. One, it's too long to be accepted within the boundaries of the rules, and 2, it would be so prohibitively heavy that I wouldn't want to wear it in a 5K anyway, and 3, the amount of work that went into that is really done by a professional costumer, so I'm not even going to try to attempt it. So the first step in deciding how I was actually going to do this costume really started in my running closet. I wanted to find a couple of things that worked with what I already had. So I have this navy blue long sleeve compression top that I've used for other costumes, but this is a really good base to build from. I also have a pair of dark blue capris that I'm going to use for this costume as well. So that's the running outfit as it stands. There are also a couple of pieces with the Doctor Strange costume that I wanted to find to really make it stand out as Doctor Strange. The first one was the Eye of Agamotto. This is about half the size, maybe even a third the size of what the theatrical version is, and I'm okay with that because this is still a running costume. The other thing I found on Etsy are these lapel wings. So I found these on Etsy. Someone did a really nice job looking very carefully at the theatrical version. They're super lightweight. I think all I'm gonna do is add some double-sided Velcro to the back of this and attach it to the cloak. Probably the most iconic piece for Doctor Strange is his red Cloak of Levitation. What I did was basically build a patchwork quilt for the interior of the cloak. It's just the patchwork top as if I were making a quilt, but it is all of these beautiful batik fabrics that I still had in my stash. I haven't used them for anything, and I thought this would be perfect for the inside of something so mystical as Doctor Strange's cloak. I have a collar that's pinned, and I'm not sure I'm crazy about the collar. I may not attach that because I also don't feel that the back of the cloak, that the neck of the cloak, it comes down far enough. So what I want to do actually is bring the cloak down a little bit. Now see, that's not very long. It's kind of the perfect length for a run costume. Now remember, there are costume rules, and if you are confused about what that is, please check the link to the Rundisney's costume rules in the description below. And that's really how this is going to attach. Now this is as far as I've gotten so far. I still have a lot of work yet to do. So this is where I'm standing right now. I'm fairly confident that this is how this is gonna work. I'm probably going to take the collar off. I'm not crazy about it. I think it'll drive me crazy when I'm running. So that's the Doctor Strange costume. Now the last costume I'm going to try to create is for Dave, and he's going to as the ancient one, also from Doctor Strange. So here's what I found. Again, it's this beautiful poly satin, and then this is going to be the lining. I was looking for kind of a tunic style in terms of, you know, some kind of pattern that I could use to base this costume off of. Now, really, I actually found sort of a Jedi robe, Sith Lord Jedi robe. If I use this with the poly satin, it's actually gonna look really, really nice. Again, I think all I'm gonna do is have some kind of tunic wrap. It's gonna be sleeveless. I'm gonna try to attach a hood. Now, I haven't actually started that costume, and I'm hoping that I can get to it in the next couple of days. So those are all the costumes that I have planned for the 5K. We have my son as Spider-Man, we have Dave as the Ancient One, and I will be Doctor Strange. Now for the 10K, I had originally planned on this idea for the half marathon. I have since made other plans for the half marathon. But what I really thought would be kind of cool was to create the Infinity Gauntlet itself. If you've run the Superheroes Infinity Gauntlet Challenge, you know what that looks like. If you're like me and you're a geek and you love all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you know what the Infinity Gauntlet looks like. So the first thing I did was I looked really, really hard for a shirt this color. It's actually really hard to find a shirt in this color. But this is just a basic running top. But what I was gonna do was cut out gems from this, you know, sparkly craft foam with an adhesive back and just tape them to the shirt. Now, that's still the option. This is definitely kind of the fallback now. However, Dave and I had more ideas as we kind of developed this whole thing. So the first thought was, well, what if we could get the gems to light up? So Dave set to work trying to figure out how he's going to build these gems. So we settled on a resin that we can color with paint and drop in a light. And it's this tiny little LED light into the resin. So when it lights up, it glows, the whole gem glows. And so what I decided to do, instead of take this perfectly good running shirt and poke holes in it, because we're gonna have wires connecting all of these things, I'm gonna have a battery pack. What I thought I would try my hand at was building a running shirt that is gold, like gold, okay? This is actually a performance fabric, okay? It's stretchy, and it might be somewhat breathable, I don't know, but that's the back, this is the front. Now where we stand right now is that I have all the pieces of the shirt cut out, I just need to sew it together, and the next step is going to be how we're going to place all of these gems and how we're going to wire it, literally wire it so it lights up and we can switch it on and off. So I do have a little bit more experimentation to do, a little bit more work to do on a couple of these costumes, but I think it's actually coming together very nicely. And it wasn't until I started working and digging into actually building and cutting and sewing all of these things that I really started getting excited about it. Now I hear you asking, what about the half marathon? I'm not gonna tell you. This is all I'm gonna show you. That's all. But again, we are exactly 3 weeks out from Avengers Superhero Half Marathon Weekend. I think I've got a good start on all of my costumes so far. I will check in with you in a few days and let you know what my progress is. So these are the two of the stones, and what's sticking out of these are the contacts for the lights that have been embedded inside. So when we get a battery hooked up to these, they're going to all light up along the shirt. We have a resin that he's been using, and what he'll do is he'll mix it up and then he'll put a paint in. So he takes a couple drops of this paint, this is the purple, and he's been building with those, and those are actually the molds that you just saw were a soap mold that we just found at Hobby Lobby, and they were the exact perfect size. So we thought, okay, we'll do that and then we'll just color it with this paint. The fun part was going to Caboose Hobbies to pick up just these tiny little lights that he uses for the lights on the inside of the gemstones. This is just like model train lights. So that's really how we're lighting the whole project. The trick is to get the gems out of the molds, and that's what we're struggling with right now. Okay, so just to wrap this up, I did spend the weekend at the dive shop and my cough actually got a whole lot worse. So I've really struggled with actually getting something on camera for you guys, but I did want to give you a few final thoughts about this. I did get down here to have a little bit more fun with my costumes, and here they are so far. Doctor Strange isn't quite done yet. I haven't made any progress on that one, but you do get the idea here. But the Infinity Gauntlet is almost done. I added a skirt to it, and I'm really excited about this one. The only thing we need to do to finish it up is wire it and get a battery pack in it. So this is a little bit more engineering. I'm gonna have to find a way to get the lights in the backing to work together and affix it all to the shirt so it doesn't come off. And then after all of that, I want to do a run test. That's one more tip I've got for you. Make sure you test out what you're running in and how it's going to feel before you take it to a race. I will be writing blog posts that will detail out each of these costumes specifically, including some of the finer points of what went into each costume. Those may not be readily available right now, but I will have more information as I finish up these costumes. Now, a few last thoughts about this process. Running costumes do not have to be this complicated. I really put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into these costumes because I feel so passionately about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I would do the same thing for something like Star Wars as well. If you want to run in costume, it might be easiest to just go into your own running closet for the basic pieces. You know you can run in those pieces, that it's designed for running, so if you start there and just add on to it, that's a really great place to start. The other suggestion I would have is that if you have a certain character in mind, color block those characters and shop for running pieces that would be in those colors. There are also some great shops on Etsy. Some of them have accessories like I showed you earlier, and some of them have really well-built running costumes. These might be a bit pricier, but if it's something that you don't really feel comfortable building your own costume, that might be worth the price right there. I will leave links to some of my favorite Etsy shops in the description box below. I've also left a link in the description below to not only Rundisney's costume rules, but also to other videos that give you great tips on finding a running costume. But what do you think? Do you enjoy running in costume? And if so, what lengths do you go to find the perfect costume? Did I go a little bit overboard? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you have suggestions for future videos, please leave those in the comment section down below as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. And also head over to Joyful Miles because Vlogtober continues tomorrow. But that is it for my superheroes costume preview. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed bringing this to you. Get out there, go find your awesome. Until next time, happy running.